And a pleasant good morning to you here from Tony'sPicks.com, and welcome to Night Moves here for Monday, February 9th. Off Super Bowl Sunday. Hope you had a great Super Sunday and enjoyed the Super Bowl with the Seattle Seahawks winning their second championship in team history. Really great game yesterday for those Seahawks backers anyway. I thought it might be. Was I on the public side or was I on the sharp side there? I guess the books are saying they would have preferred a New England victory, so I think I know what that means. Still, they might have cleaned up a little bit with those MVP dollars as Walker gets the MVP there. What a performance by the running back who kind of solidified himself as one of the best backs in the game with his performance in the Super Bowl. Seattle wins the Lombardi Trophy for the second time. And well, it was dominant from the opening series. Let's not make any bones about it. New England did not score in the first three quarters, becoming the first team since 1974 to go scoreless through the first three quarters. I think the Patriots' first drives tell the story. The first 9 drives, right? It was pretty much punt after punt after punt. 38 plays, 79 yards, and 0 points. So even I can figure that out. Into the fourth quarter, Seattle owned a staggering 297 to 78 yardage advantage, and the competitive portion of the game was long before over even if the Patriots did rack up some of their yardage over the last 8 minutes of the game to kind of even out the stats a little bit, but the defense was really relentless with 6 sacks of Drake May for 43 yards, 2 interceptions, a fumble recovery, plus 3. I can figure that out in the turnover margin, and a defensive touchdown as May was under duress. And Seattle's front continued to collapse the pocket there. I tried to tout the Patriots offensive line a little bit, but it was just too much movement really for the Patriots defense against New England, kind of confusing them and making May feel under pressure. So the secondary erased kind of the throwing windows for May, who was constantly missing his receivers. And then they controlled the tempo with the ball. They didn't need Sam Darnold to be that spectacular. He finished short of his yardage totals. One thing I did get right, but was kind of close still. First 6 drives for Seattle, 42 plays, 183 yards, and 3 field goals. So they didn't need explosive plays. They dictated field position. That was the only thing the Patriots kind of had in their favor at all in the first half, was the beginning of the first quarter anyway. New England, funny thing is, you look back at even the great teams, New England never starts fast. This was not going at all, but even the Brady teams, they never started that fast. Kenneth Walker, though, championship performance, 27 carries, 135 rushing yards, also in the pass receiving game as well, to rack up 161 total yards and the MVP. You could have given it to the defense. You could have given it to my man Jason Myers from Modern Day Catholic High School in Chula Vista, California, who with 5 field goals he hasn't missed in quite a while, and he outscored the Patriots pretty much for most of the night until the very end. For a minute there, I thought I was going to get the over. Yeah, I was contrarian there too with that touchdown by Walker, but it didn't matter. He still got the MVP, and well, the under came home. So a lot of you guys were right on with it, no doubt about it. I'm glad you were. Seattle and the under was I think I was too contrarian there, although people tell me I was square with the play in that one. So, all right. Uh, Give Darnold credit to finishing off a basically a career resurgence. Talk about it. What we miss out with quarterbacks don't get a chance with a good team, and he composed a 200-yard passing performance, protected the ball. The Seahawks didn't turn it over in the postseason, so May actually finished with 295 yards, 2 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles, slamming the turf, and 35 rushing yards. And those kind of stats obviously reflect a late game volume more than any early success. He had nothing going on for 3 quarters. He had no protection. The receivers weren't getting separated because the line was getting in there and pressuring him, so they had no balance at all because they kind of abandoned the run too, which they probably shouldn't have done. Stevenson, I don't think he had enough yardage to determine whether he could have got it going or not. But Stephon Diggs acting a bit of a fool. Yeah, they were picking on him, but you know what? You're Stephon Diggs. You're going to get guys taking shots at you a little bit. And Hunter Henry also pretty much neutralized. I was expecting big games from those guys. It just did not happen. So New England went from 8-26 over the last 2 seasons to the Super Bowl here, and it does feel like they can continue to improve. But it's Seattle right now, who ironically goes up for sale after this game. Mrs. Allen collecting the hardware, and now somebody's going to buy this team. I would think here between $7 and $9 billion right now. General Manager John Schneider, I mean, his locked in. You can buy a world title contender here right now, the favorite to win the Super Bowl next season if you want, for $7 to $9 million. We'll take up a GoFundMe and we'll buy it together here. The Tony's Picks GoFundMe to buy the Seahawks. So, but plus also, they did it through the draft and the veterans as well. So my man Rashid Shaheed gets the title there as well. So I hope you enjoyed the Super Bowl. And you know what? After what happened with when you don't have guys like Mahomes in there, you don't have Hurts in there, and you don't have some of the other teams we've seen. The power shift west this season to that NFC West. The best teams were in the NFC West, it felt like. So great on Seattle, certainly. What do you think? Anybody watch the commercials? You had the Lay's family tradition. There was some, I call them, kind of bland because they didn't have that, that typical Super Bowl flair, but you had the Lay's commercial with the father-daughter potato farming story, Rocket and Redfin for that Mr. Rogers themed spot with Lady Gaga in there. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Lady Gaga here. Pokemon. How about the Pokemon campaign? I didn't really understand that, but Duncan had the pack with those guys in there, including Prince of Bel-Air. I can't think of that guy's name. That Goodwill Hunting in there. Also, some other good ones in there. We saw the Anthropic commercial. Anybody knows the Kalshi this week? Betting on these commercials if you wanted to. Also, some other narratives with some of the commercials there yesterday. At halftime, look, I'm a Bad Bunny guy, so I'm not going to ignore it. I thought it was great. I mean, he told a complete story. Obviously had a lot of political. It was Bad Bunny Day, by the way, in California, but it was a divisive Super Bowl. Let's just say. I mean, you had Kraft, Trump's buddy Kraft, and the Patriots kind of there, and you had Seattle and Starbucks. I mean, that's pretty out there, far the other way. So just turned out to be really, I thought, really great, though. Really loved seeing those stars in there. Could you see some of the people in there, the great boxers from the Dominican Republic? Saw Ronald Acuna dancing away in there. The couple that got married live on the that was pretty cool. They got married live during the halftime ceremony there and were part of the performance. So I thought it was pretty good. And hey, there was an alternative show you could have watched too. They had 4 acts come out there. Didn't quite have the thrill, but certainly garnered some views. We'll tell it like it is here. And did see Lady Gaga there with Bad Bunny as well. And I liked it, of course. All right. Hey, little bit of college basketball here yesterday. I'll just say hello to everybody, recap the rest of the day, and we'll preview our action here for Monday with college basketball. I got 5 games to look at, and there's 10 games in the NBA. I'll say hello to Sonny Schlotfield in the chat. Hey, good to see Sonny there. And he was talking about that one play, right, that the ball went backwards there. And USA says they'll pay $10 to buy. Maybe $10 might get us a coffee at Starbucks. So, yeah, hey, Kid Rock's done the Super Bowl before too. So, he's known to be a little bit involved here. But yeah, I saw that show as well. All right, and the Puppy Bowl. Anybody have the Puppy Bowl? The Chihuahua mix with the MVP at the Puppy Bowl. Just part of the different things that happened during the Super Bowl. I try to keep an eye on it all here. All right. All right. Hey, there was a little bit of college basketball last night as well, with a few big games, and there's some good games tonight. USC beat Penn State 77. Or let me see here. I got the right games here. We did have some winners here. USC beat Penn State yesterday. 77-75 is Arenas, the freshman, scored the game-winning basket with 0.7 seconds left for SC. And, the old Big Ten rivalry there, SC and Penn State. Trojans 7-6 in conference. Coastal Carolina and UMass over the weekend. What a game that was on Saturday. Here we go. Texas Tech and West Virginia yesterday. Texas Tech 70-63. Their Red Raiders never trailed in that one. Tech 7-3 in the Big Ten, and did have a couple of winners here yesterday on Night Moves. They're in the NBA with the New York Knicks and Boston Celtics game to go under. We had the winner there. We also had the under in the game between the Heat and the Wizards. Brought home another. I said yesterday, I think I'm going under in all these NBA games. And did we roll for unders? Or no, we went to 4-0 on the show. I know that. We also had the under with the Clippers and the Timberwolves, and we had the Toronto Raptors minus the points. So we went 4-0 in the NBA. Well, I didn't win the Super Bowl, but, well, there was that. All right, and we'll get ready to go here with the show. Hey, it's got pitchers and catchers report tomorrow. That's going to be pretty exciting as well. And there's other action tonight coming up here in the Olympics here in just a short time. There's some curling matches that are coming within the next hour or so. Big curling matches, and then later on, right? It'll be right now in an hour. It's USA mixed doubles against Italy in the final game of pool play, and then they hope to move on to later tonight to take on semifinals, matchup to try to get in the semifinals here. Also, medal events on Monday include freestyle skiing, women's free ski slope style when they're next to each other, alpine skiing, man. Oh, that was the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. Have you ever heard that term? That's what the U.S. fans and teams suffered. With Breezy Johnson winning the gold medal yesterday in the women's downhill. And then tragically, I say tragically, it was a tragedy all around that Lindsey Vonn crashed right just 10 seconds into the race, skating on obviously a sprained ACL, probably already had damage, couldn't even really make the first turn and the jump. Makes you question who's calling the shots here just 10 days after being evacuated from the mountain after that first crash to try to come back here and compete in the Olympics, especially when maybe your goal should have been just to try to get down the hill and have a swan song, or maybe you could come back and try to nurse yourself out, but instead trying to go for it there. Vaughn, one of the greats there, certainly. I mean, there's been a couple of other American greats for sure, but just really suspect, man, why that went down like it did. But still, Breezy Johnson was a star winning that one. There's more alpine skiing today, speed skating as well, snowboard, big air final for the women, and ski jumping men's normal hill individual final, and hockey coming up at the Olympics here. Women's hockey at 6:10 Eastern, 3:10 Pacific. Italy and Japan in a very closely rated game, really the only close game of the night. I got to take Italy in this one, plus 120 against Japan. Japan's rated higher, but we're in Italy here. I'm going to go ahead and take the Italians here, plus $1.20 there, and heavily juiced to the under. You're looking at tonight 5 under 25 or so. So, you're expecting here probably something in the range of 3-2. I don't know, maybe even 2-1, 3-1, something right in there. I'm going to take Italy over Japan. Also, France and Germany. Germany, huge favorite. USA, big favorite over Switzerland. And Canada, big favorite over Czechia. All right, at the Olympic Games. Hey, we got it all here on a Monday when there's not much going on, but let's take a look here right now, and you can go over to Tony'sPicks.com and check out our premium picks over at Tony's Picks. I have one match up right now, as a matter of fact. Let me bring it up here at Tony'sPicks.com. So you did well on Sunday as well. Let's check out the handicapper leaderboards. I know limited action here, but the VIP account 1-0. There's Stacks McKelvey 2-1. We're going to get Stacks here on the Night Move show here, I do believe, soon. Nick Lagaretto's 2-1. Ron Crawford 3-2 on Sunday. I could only manage one winner with my props card, but hey, Steve Duncan's been smashing the props in the NHL. And there's Nick Lagaretto's, talk about hot, 75% there over the last 7 days. Stacks as well, 75% in there. Big Vegas Al here, putting together a solid month. Double Shooty, Al Ninos in the green, Jorge Gonzalez, and the others over the last 30 days over at Tony's Picks. Stephen Duncan up 36 units over the month. That'll get it done. Eating good. Nick Lagaretto's also up 19 3/4 units over the last 30 days. Stacks is up there, nearly 14 units of profit. Doubles over 12 3/4 units of profit. Joey Tron last month, 9 units of profit over the last 30 days. Click on the All Cappers tab, find the handicapper of your choice, click on their handicapper profile page, and that's how you get signed up. Right now, I'm ready to roll with a tennis play here overnight. Maybe I'm steaming a little bit after the bowl, but hey, I put together a pretty okay record here over the last 30 days in a few sports, and I've got my Monday WTA discount best bet coming up in just a couple of hours on the ladies' side as we move on to the next tournaments. And I have my top play here. It's always a closely rated play. I give out my best plays on the closest rated matches over at Tony'sPicks.com. So check me out here for a Monday. All right, thanks for listening to that. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout. Save 15% off those premium pick packages, including mine here. These long-term packages are discounted at already a substantial discount. So those discounts there are for these day packages, including 3-packs and 5-packs here at Tony'sPicks.com. All right, let's get ready now. We have 10 games today in the NBA, and I invite your comments in the chat. We got, oh man, everybody's passed out, I think, from the Super Bowl. I'm still going on adrenaline because I love the Super Bowl. And, I was getting ready for this recap show and handicapping the cards. So I'm still pretty fired up, even though it wasn't the best game for me. And we're going to get ready to go here for our games on Monday. Let's go to the NBA. Pistons and Hornets NBA action here for Monday night. And the Pistons, they did taste a little defeat there recently, but you know who hasn't tasted defeat? The Charlotte Hornets. I mean, these guys are impossible right now. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new life for the Charlotte Hornets. And, it was almost predicted here, it felt like. I know I say that every night, but, hey, ever since they, to me, kind of were like, hey, they're getting a lot of attention from bettors when you look at these lines. And sure enough, they're just on a roll right now. And I don't know what it necessarily coincides with. I don't think there's been any personnel changes. Could be maybe a little bit of a softer schedule here, but they've had some big wins too of late. Wins here over Atlanta, Houston recently. They also beat San Antonio, Dallas. They beat New Orleans. Yeah, there's not all overwhelming teams here, but hey, they're covering the spread too. Meanwhile, for Detroit, yeah, they did lose to Washington. They got caught in that one, but then they beat up on the Knicks. Really stunned the Knicks at home as far as yeah, the way they crushed them there last time out, 118-80. The Knicks were hot too, but they probably just ran out of gas a little bit and weren't ready for the big matchup with the Pistons. So you could say that the Pistons still looking pretty darn sharp here. Right now with their cover streak. They're still only 27-24 against the spread overall, and 12-11 against the spread on the road. Charlotte's got terrific numbers covering the spread. I mean, they're 24-15 against the spread as an underdog. They've won 9 straight, covered 6 of their last 7. Charlotte has gone under in 8 of their last 11 games. Detroit's gone under in 13 of their last 18 games. Charlotte and Detroit have gone games. How do you not go under here? Although a great run for Charlotte, they're really going to get a big test here right now, right? I mean, if you think about this matchup, yeah, like I said, not all the matchups have been tough. They did beat some good teams in there. This one might be the best in quite a while. They did beat the Spurs, like I said, about back on January 31st here. Hey, we can get your picks in the chat right now if you'd like. Pistons did win the first meeting 112-86 at home and covered 10.5. Let's see what you have in the chat for this good game all of a sudden. Wow. Okay, Cal Dog's joining us here as well. All right, Pistons in here for Cal Dog. And TMC, great to see TMC. I'm glad you had a winner in there. All right. Oh, man, maybe not much from the chat pros here tonight in this one. I guess I'm just going to take the under, man. This seems like a pretty hardcore under given what's going on with these two teams right now. That last game was 198 points, whereas 234.5. This one's got a pretty big discount or a pretty big drop anyway from, we've seen all these totals drop a little bit here because we've seen kind of the totals dropping here as we approach the All-Star break a little bit. These guys need a break, all these players, it feels like right now. Look how deep into the season we're actually getting in here, and we're not even at the All-Star break here yet. At least we will be this week, but there's a lot of games so far. You'd think, pretty sure back in the day it was a little bit earlier in the All-Star game, wasn't it? I know the last decade or two we've been playing it later and later, but these teams are operating here right now well into the mid 40s in some of their games. So okay, give me the under here at 223. Really not seeing much movement at all, although DraftKings did open at 225.5, down here to 223. Injuries here a little bit impactful for this game. Jalen Duren is probable with a knee injury, but we know that that's been bothering him. Holland is out for the Pistons. Saric is still out right now, not ready to go yet for the Pistons here. And for the Hornets, Malachi Branham also out here. He's a new acquisition, and Kobe White also. I don't think we're ready to get him in here yet either. All right, the Chicago Bulls are going to be on the road here, taking on the Brooklyn Nets. NBA action for Monday here with the Bulls on the road. 4-point favorite. They've lost 4 in a row right now. Kind of coinciding with Giddey. Every time, you got to admit, every time the Giddey's had a couple of stints here where he's missed time, and it feels like the Bulls lose those games. I mean, we like him a lot, and we know that he doesn't have he's got a pretty good game still, and continuing to get older and better, but starting to see a pattern here. I mean, sometimes we rule addition by subtraction, but I don't think it is with Giddey. He's been missing some games here, and they've been losing these games. Right now, his status for this game is doubtful with a hamstring injury here. Jalen Smith, questionable. Trey Jones, doubtful in this game for the Bulls. They're missing some parts here for Brooklyn. Michael Porter Jr., though, he is out of this game, and so is Demon out of the game as well. So, look, still, this Brooklyn team, they've jumped up and beat a few teams here, but usually teams that are pretty bad. I don't know if we can put the Bulls quite in that territory, even though the Bulls have been sliding here now. They're all the way down to 24 and 29 after such a good start. Brooklyn, they do have 2 wins here recently over Washington and Utah, but anybody better than bad teams, they don't seem to be able to beat anyway. But the Bulls just have such a bad record as a favorite. 6-16 record as a favorite, 11-15 on the road. You'd think they would be able to win this one and handle this Nets team, but the move appears to be on the Nets here. Well, I take that back. It's at 3.5 right now. I guess the 4s are all gone. I don't see any 4s, so I got to move it to 3.5. But it did open lower as well. It opened Bulls 2.5 or even a little bit lower here. Man, the square in me just wants to take the Bulls. I haven't looked at your picks yet, so I don't want to characterize it like that. It does feel like the sharp side is supposed to be the Brooklyn Nets here. Let me go to the chat and see what you guys have in this one on Monday night between Brooklyn and Chicago. Chicago's lost 7 of their last 8 games, going 1-7 against the spread in those 8 games, but Brooklyn's lost 15 of 18 coming in. They have covered 6 of the last 9 against the Bulls. Bulls have gone over in 4 of their last 5. Brooklyn's gone over in 8 of their last 12, including 5 of their last 6 at home. Okay, this game's not very good, is it? All right, Cal Dog. Let's see, Mr. Weskers is on the Bulls here. Cal Dog is on Chicago. Mr. Weskers says trade Giddey. Like I said, it feels like when he's in the lineup, the Bulls are much better with him in the lineup. It seems like the games they've been losing, these last 2 stints where he's missed multiple games, that's when the Bulls' losing streaks have been coinciding. So maybe this is supposed to be the spot here for the Bulls. Boy, all right, I can't waste it here. I'm going to take the Chicago Bulls on the road without Giddey here to beat Brooklyn. You guys like Chicago a little bit. I mean, like I said, without Giddey, they don't seem to get it done. But man, they should be able to handle this team right now. They should be able to limit their scoring. This total is probably too high at this point, but I'm taking the Bulls at 3.5. Maybe it'll even go down, but not a big fan of this one. I don't like to say it like that. I love every game. All right, let's move on. Utah Jazz at Miami Heat NBA action for Monday night. For the Jazz here, they come in 16 and 37 right now. They've been definitely losing again here. 2 straight losses to Atlanta and Orlando coming in, but they have covered 4 in a row, despite going 1-3 straight up in those games. But they're going up against a Miami team that, we talked about early in the season how we were, on Miami a little bit. Then they kind of came back down to earth, but all of a sudden, they seem to be in line to maybe start getting some more covers here. Now, they have lost 2 of their last 3 games. They did bounce back to beat Washington. I mean, that's not saying much. Their other win was against Chicago. Remember, they played those 3 consecutive games last month. But they lost to Boston, but covered there. Laying a pretty big number here, but man, Miami 15-12 against the spread as a favorite, 31-22 against the spread overall. These 2 teams did play their first meeting already this season, just about 2 weeks ago, and it was 147-116. Miami rocked Utah on the road, laying 6.5. I'm going to take them again here to crush Utah tonight. Miami should be getting better a little bit here. Normie Powell questionable, Larson questionable, Hero out. Keontae George is out for Utah here. I'm gonna take Miami and lay a big number with them here in this one. Miami 6-3 against the spread in their last 9. Utah has covered 5 of the last 6 meetings against Miami, despite going 2-8 straight up in the last 10 against the Heat. But Utah's lost 8 of their last 9 overall. They usually are getting enough points and they end up covering. We'll see. This total's pretty high. I think it might be even over adjusted, but 8 of the last 10 meetings between these two teams have gone over. I'm gonna take Miami here to rock. All right, maybe the total's a better play. Let's see here. We've got under for Cal Dog. Where are the chat pros tonight? I know it's after Super Bowl, so thanks for Cal Dog and Mr. Weskers for being in the chat with me. Next up, Bucks and Magic. NBA action here for Monday night. Central Division action here with the Bucks taking on Orlando. Orlando, pretty big favorite here, but ever since they decided not to trade Giannis, Bucks have been playing pretty good. Now we know that Giannis right now isn't part of the mix, but still, maybe a little bit more stable anyway. Cam Thomas could be in the game for Milwaukee here. We'll see. And Franz Wagner is questionable here for Orlando. These two teams have not yet met this season. Orlando comes in here having failed to cover in 7 of their last 10 games. Milwaukee's not a great cover, 11-15 ATS on the road, but they are 15-14 ATS as a dog. Orlando 14-22 against the spread as a favorite. That's bad. Milwaukee's gone just 4-8 straight up and against the spread in their last 12 overall, but they've won 17 of the last 20 meetings against Orlando, but usually Giannis led. Milwaukee is just 1-4 against the spread against Orlando, usually laying too many points, actually. Orlando's won 4 of their last 6 overall coming in. Milwaukee 8-18 to the under on the road, but Orlando and Milwaukee have gone over in 5 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams. I think I'm gonna go under here in this one at 218. I'm gonna go under. That's a pretty low number here, but I'm gonna take the under. The last one did. Let's see here. The last one for Milwaukee did finish 105-99 at home against Indiana. Orlando, meanwhile, has gone over in their last 2, but I'm going to take the under in this one. All right. Cal Dog's going to go over. Uh-oh. Darn it. Mr. Wesker's on the Bucks money line. All right. Kings at Pelicans. NBA action here for Monday. The Pelicans favorite here, 6.5, and the total 232 maybe here. It might be dropping just a little bit here right now. Yeah, I'm going to say this one's down to 231.5 minimum. Maybe, like I said, maybe even 231 here with the Pelicans favored by 6.5. Pelicans are coming off of a nice win here last time out, 119-115 over Minnesota on the road. Pelicans did a nice job there. Sacramento, meanwhile, on a losing streak, but they have covered their last 2 games against the Clippers and against the Cleveland Cavaliers. So still pretty bad losing skid here. Sacramento hasn't won in a couple of weeks right now. Double-digit losing streak. Also, just 1-9 against the spread in their last 10 games against this New Orleans club. Sacramento's failed to cover in 8 of their last 12. New Orleans has lost 14 of their last 20, but probably in a little better shape than this Sacramento team right now. Take a look at some of the injuries, impactful injuries anyways for Sacramento. You got Sabonis questionable here. Dougie McBuckets, he's questionable. Malik Monk, he's out of this game. Zach LaVine, he's out as well. DeAndre Hunter, he's out. So they're missing five players here, and Pelicans have a relatively clean injury report here right now. So I don't know if I need to go much further here. I think I want to roll with the Pelicans here to crush against Sacramento here in this one. You know, the Pelicans are only favored for the 6th time this season. They're 5-1 against the spread as a favorite. Meanwhile, Sacramento's 9-17 against the spread on the road. I'm just going to take the New Orleans Pelicans here. That feels a little better than these other games. Give me the Pels, lay the points against the Sacramento Kings. All right, and Cal Dogs on the Kings here. Next up, the Atlanta Hawks are taking on Minnesota Timberwolves here. NBA action for Monday night. Minnesota's lost 2 in a row here right now, and 3 of their last 4. A little bit of a rough skid all of a sudden for the Wolves. They did lose to the Clippers yesterday by the score of 115-96 at home. Clippers, part of that run they're on here right now. It just feels like the Clippers can take games like that and turn them into victories the way things are going. And for the Wolves, they lost to New Orleans before that. They lost to Memphis here recently. For the Atlanta Hawks here, they're off of a loss to the Charlotte Hornets, 126-119 at home, that hot short Hornets team. But they did beat Utah. They did beat Miami before that, and Atlanta is 18-12 against the spread as an underdog. Minnesota, meanwhile, still just 17-26 against the spread as a favorite, 11-16 against the spread at home. We know, good record for sure. We always say it, 32-22 straight up, but just a poor cover. Usually just laying too many points. And we're seeing some good play, in general, it feels like, from the Hawks right now. And, getting at least a handful of points here. Let's see what you guys have in this one with Atlanta on the road, getting 6.5. Dyson Daniels is questionable, and that's really it for the injury report for the short-term injuries in that game. So let's see what you have here with this one. 236. I mean, it does feel like it is going to be a game that gets well into that range. I don't think I like an over in this one, but peek at some of the trends with these two. Minnesota's still 8-19 to the under at home. Yeah, Atlanta's 17-12 to the over on the road here, but for the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Minnesota has gone under in 6 of their last 7. Atlanta's 6-0 against the spread in their last 6 games against the Minnesota Timberwolves, having won 10 of the last 15 meetings between these two teams. And we got Minnesota here 1-4 against the spread in their last 5, although Atlanta can claim the same record, 1-4 ATS in their last 5, but they still have won 6 of their last 9. I'm going to try the Hawks here in this one. I know the trends kind of say under, but man, a total of 236 here. I think it is probably achievable. Just worrisome that Minnesota kind of ends up on these unders right now at home. So I'm going to take the Hawks plus the points on the road. All right, here we go with Mr. Weskers. He's on the Hawks. Hey, the Gibson ratings are here, everyone, and right now it's going to be 121-114 Minnesota and the under for Greg Gibson. He says this has got to be a Minnesota spot. Uh-oh. Well, I guess I'm on the Hawks. Oh, boy. I didn't think Greg was going to show up. Otherwise, I would have probably went with Minnesota. It's kind of where they have failed to cover in 4 straight games as well. But like I said, Atlanta's not really covering either. All right, hey, we're continuing on with this Monday night card in the NBA. So we're heading into the All-Star break here this week. Cavaliers and Nuggets. NBA action here for Monday night. Hey, pretty good game here, man, with the Cavaliers coming in 32-21 and having won 3 in a row. Denver, meanwhile, 34-19. They've lost 3 out of their last 4. That kind of evened things up a little bit the way things are going with these two. Cleveland, I mean, they've been having some key guys banged up here. Evan Mobley's been out here for a while now, and Tyson is questionable. Dean Wade questionable. Obviously made the big trade last week as well. For the Nuggets, key injury here, Jamal Murray is questionable for the game with a leg injury. Spencer Jones is out. Peyton Watson is out as well. Nikola Jokic is probable, but is listed on the injury report with a turned ankle. So what do you think here? I mean, if you look at these two teams and what they do against the spread, you wouldn't even take one look at Cleveland. I mean, Denver here, 13-7. They are an underdog right now. Try to get this right. You know what? There are a little bit of pick'ems out there, so let's throw out the underdog stats, but still. Denver 31-22 against the spread overall. Cleveland 21-32 against the spread. So it's almost opposite, even though they have almost the same record. So you might just look at it as, Denver 14-10 straight up at home. Cleveland 15-10 straight up on the road. They did meet in their first meeting already this year. It was about 5 weeks ago, 113-106. Cleveland got the win at home. Denver was without Nikola Jokic in that game. Cleveland was actually a 13.5-point favorite, and they did not cover the big number there. And look, also, this total 235, but does seem probably achievable with this matchup. Let's see how you guys rate it here with Cleveland and Denver here. 7 of the last 8 meetings between these two teams have gone over, although, like I said, they just meet twice a year. Denver's covered 6 of their last 9 overall, but just 2-5 against the spread, last 7 at home. Cleveland's won 7 of their last 8 on the road, 4 of the last 5 against Denver, 8 of their last 9 overall, and they've covered 5 of their last 7. This seems real right now, but all right, I'm just going to go with the over in this one between Cleveland and Denver. Boy. Like I said, Denver's a team that usually gets the money, but right now you can't ignore how well Cleveland is playing, and maybe Denver's healthy, though, too. I'm going to go with the over. Wow, this could be a good one here on Monday night. Cal Dog likes the Cavs here. And let's see, Mr. Weskers is no fan of the Nuggets. And Gibson ratings here says 118-116. Cleveland gets the win and an under there, I think. Oklahoma City Thunder, Los Angeles Lakers, NBA action here for Monday. We got a good card here. I mean, you got the Lakers here. Everyone wants to criticize, and I listen to too many people criticizing the Lakers, and we shouldn't. We should just take it on face value for what this team continues to get it done. Not every scenario. I mean, yes, do they take games off? Yeah. Do we have to figure out what games those are? We can do that. Now the Lakers are 8-12 against the spread as an underdog, 12-10 against the spread at home. They've covered 7 of their last 10. OKC, not a great cover. I think that kind of helps the process in thinking that the Lakers can get it done here, not to mention the injury report, which is probably the main news in this game. You've got SGA out, guard Jalen Williams out, AJ Mitchell questionable, but you also have Luka Doncic out of this game as well with a hamstring injury here, and Ayton is probable here, but gonna want to have Luka here, I would think. Still, Lakers are the hotter team here. Surely they've won and covered 3 straight, albeit against Brooklyn, Philadelphia, and Golden State. Oklahoma City comes in off a pair of losses against San Antonio and Houston. Key losses, actually, for the Thunder as they start to draw back to the pack. Oklahoma City's gone 2-6 against the spread in their last 8. Lakers have won and covered 4 of their last 5. 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Lakers are under in 8 of their last 11. 6 of the last 7 meetings between the two here have gone under in LA as well. But Oklahoma City's gone over in 5 straight on the road. They've gone over in 4 of their last 5. I'm going to take the Lakers plus the points here in this one. SGA definitely out. The Thunder coming back to the pack. I'm going to try the Lakers here plus the points. And let's see what the chat says. Greg says 119, 114, Thunder. He says Thunder will win. Lakers will cover. Mr. Weskers has the Thunder. ATS. Want to say hello and welcome to Scratch Master in the chat. Scratch Master in the chat. All right, Cal Dog says Luke is always hurt. He's like a Timu Dirk in there. And Thunder and the under, Thunder and the under. Cal Dog says he'll take the Thunder -4. Grizzlies and Warriors. NBA action for Monday night from San Francisco with the Warriors here favored by 7, total 224 or so. This one looks like it's going down. Let me see here. Yeah, well, definitely. We might be at 223.5 here at the sharp books right now. I typed these in kind of after the bowl tonight, so now we're seeing a move. In fact, you can even see this Warriors team here, the 6, or I'm sorry, either 7 or 6.5 right now. So the move is on the Grizzlies here a little bit, and on the under for sure at 223.5 here. This one's going down. Memphis losers of 2 straight coming into this one, both of them against Portland. At Portland, they did fail to cover the first one, but they did cover the second one. They were getting 9 and 9.5. They lost each game. Golden State, meanwhile, off of the loss to the Lakers. Curry did not play. Lakers won and covered 105-99, laying 3. The Warriors were getting 3. The Warriors were coming off of that dramatic comeback win over Phoenix. They battled back from 14 down in the fourth quarter to win. Memphis has been a crummy cover for sure, 12-21 ATS as an underdog. Golden State 14-12 against the spread at home, but I'm not sure I can trust this team, although it has been a one-sided series. Golden State has kind of dominated here. Memphis is just 1-7 straight up in the last 8 games against Golden State. Memphis has also dropped 8 of their last 10 overall. Memphis is 7-13 against the spread in their last 20. Golden State just 3-6 straight up and against the spread in their last 9. They're limping into the break here as well, it feels like. Curry is doubtful right now for the Warriors. Porzingis is out as well. Cryer is questionable. Memphis has plenty of injuries to report as well. Wells is questionable. Spencer questionable. Pippen questionable. Coward questionable. Aldama is questionable. I'm going to take the under in this one. Give me the under with these two. I'm sure someone's going to score some points. It is a professional basketball game after all. These two teams here, like I said, the Warriors have kind of won every game here for the last couple of years. So I'll go under here in this one. I would think it's 7. I'd probably have to think about the dog here. It looks like kind of a much more even matchup than the records would indicate. And it's not terrible. I mean, Memphis is on 20 wins right now. I'll take the under. All right. See what we got here from the chat pros. Gibson ratings here says I think that's Thunder there. He says Memphis plays them tough. Warriors win. Memphis covers. Okay, the Sixers and Trailblazers here to wrap action up here on Monday night. Hey, this was pretty interesting too. Got the Sixers here still playing well, 30 and 22. They're in here off of a win last time out. Knocked off Phoenix 109-103 on the road. This is a fifth straight road game here for Phoenix, and they did lose for Philly, and they did lose to the Lakers on this trip, but they're still 3-1 straight up and against the spread. For Portland here, meanwhile, they just swept a pair of games against Memphis to snap a losing streak. Portland is 19 and 14 as an underdog against the spread, 16 and 12 against the spread at home. Philly, though, still one of the best cover teams in this role, 17 and 6 against the spread on the road, 18 and 11 against the spread as a dog. Philadelphia's won 6 of their last 7 and covered 4 of their last 5. They've defeated Portland in 4 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams. Portland just 2 and 6 straight up and 1 and 5 against the spread in their last 6 games overall. Portland does have a pretty good interior defense, pretty good defense altogether. I mean, that's to me, part of Portland's resurgence here. Creeping up there 500. I mean, they got some work to do to even come close to the playoffs, but for the Sixers here, they've got a relatively clean injury report. Meanwhile, for the Blazers, Denny Avdija, he's still questionable here. Robert Williams III, he's questionable. Shaden Sharp, questionable. Scoot Henderson, questionable again. I'm going to take the Sixers here to win and cover this one on the road. We've done well with Portland, but I'm going to say the Sixers are playing pretty well right now, and I think this just might be, a minus B plus team here in the Sixers against kind of a C plus team against the Blazers right now. See if anything here with this one. All right. Hey, the Gibson ratings here has it 117 to 113. That's right on the spread. Cal Dog here is on Philly. And I'm going to take Philly. Hey, that's it for the NBA. Thanks a lot, you guys. You guys are helping me get through. I'm feeling a little bit tired after the bowl there. Takes a lot out of you to watch everybody's kind of complaining about the game. It's still the Super Bowl, man. The one thing that I was okay with, and I like defense, so I think that's okay with me. And yeah, I was on the Dogs, so I was hopeful that they were staying in. But as long as you've got it within, 2 scores, I think you're okay. There was one point where it was 19. They finally got on the board. It was 19-7. I was like, oh, they have a chance. I kind of had forgotten they had scored I thought it was 12-0, then 12-7. I was sober, but that's kind of how it was going with the game in general. And then I thought I was on the over and lost that one too. But that score by Walker, one interesting note about the bowl. The way they conduct the MVP voting, Walker was worthy of it, right? But again, you could have said the whole defense, and they've had 2 defensive players share the award before with the Dallas Cowboys back in the 70s, and they've had several defensive players win the MVP award. In fact, Seattle's had a defensive player when they won the Super Bowl. So the notice comes on the phone, right? But the time is now. It's a fourth quarter. Vote for the MVP, and your vote counts. I mean, you can vote on the Super Bowl MVP. Okay, so I'm like, hey, all right, I don't think I'm not wasting my vote, am I? I mean, you're just public, but the fan vote counts for 20%. 16 voters vote for the MVP, and then that's 80% of what they calculate, and the fan vote is the other 20%. Well, you know what? I went in there to vote for Jason Myers. Hey, look, I'm from San Diego. He's from San Diego. I follow the high school scene in San Diego, so I was rooting for him, and I wanted to vote for him. Okay, it's a fan vote. I'm going to vote for him. When I went to the app, the kickers weren't in there. How are you supposed to get a fair vote? We need to nationalize these votes for the Super Bowl MVP. We need maybe Face ID, Face ID. We need the kickers listed. That's what we needed because I wanted to vote for him and I couldn't, and so I voted for Walker. But should have the kickers on there just in case. You know, he did have he had 6 field goals in a game earlier this season. That could have happened. He had 5 Super Bowl record, five field goals. So he wasn't even on there. Unfair vote. Okay, I've got a few college basketball games to look at here for the action on Monday. A little bit of a good card here right now, and let's take a look at really some good games here. And we'll start off. We're going to go to the added board first. Let's go to the extra board first here. There is 1 or 2 interesting games here. You know, the other leagues here on the extra board are kind of one-sided. You know, you have teams leading here right now. So I'm going to just look here. Let's go to right now our first matchup here between Jackson State and Pine Bluffs. We're going to go in here and check out the action in the SWAC. Now, Bethune-Cookman is 9-1. They're almost comfortable here atop. Pine Bluff is second, 7-3. We know the conference championship does not mean that much in the big picture here in the league, but that's how I like to follow it anyway. We know you got to win the tournament in this league, but Bethune-Cookman playing outstanding. I mean, Bethune-Cookman takes on Texas Southern, and Bethune-Cookman's playing so well right now. But I decided we'll pick this one here with Jackson State. They are 6-4, but Pine Bluff is 7-3, and Bethune-Cookman is 9-1. So it is a little bit of an important game here for Pine Bluff. They are at home. They've won 4 straight, favored by 6 here against a Jackson State team that's lost 2 of its last 3. Jackson State comes in off of a win over Mississippi Valley. I believe they're ranked. They might be ranked last still. I haven't checked in a while. They also lost to Southern and to Grambling. Before that, they beat FAMU. For Pine Bluff here, consecutive wins over Southern, Mississippi Valley, Grambling, and Alcorn. They did cover 2 of those 4 games. They lost to Bethune-Cookman a few weeks ago, 87-82. So Pine Bluff here, 0-3 against the spread as a favorite this year, and Jackson State, 6-8 against the spread as an underdog, 7-9 against the spread on the road. So Pine Bluff is looking pretty good here right now, but they're not covering them all. For Jackson State here, they've gone 6-2 against the spread in their last 8. They've won 6 of their last 9 overall. Jackson State has won 10 straight games over Arkansas Pine Bluff and gone 6-3 against the spread. They're usually favored over this team, but not right now. Pine Bluff has won 4 of their last 5, but just 2-5 against the spread in their last 7 games coming into this one. Pine Bluff and Jackson State have gone under in 7 straight meetings here right now between these 2 teams. And you know what? We've seen it feels like a rash of unders. I wish I should get the numbers for you here in some of the SWAC and MEAC games. They continue to go under right now. A little bit of worry because the move actually on this game between Jackson State and Pine Bluff has actually gone up a point or 2 here at 157.5, but I'm not buying it. I've got the under here in this one with Jackson State and Pine Bluff. And I do think I think it's very interesting that Jackson State kind of owns this series here. And yeah, Pine Bluff is hot right now, but you know, in the SWAC and MEAC, usually you go to series history a little bit rather than how the team is playing ATS. And again, like I said, with Pine Bluff, they still failed to cover at home against Alcorn, and they did not cover against Mississippi Valley. Now, I'm not going to, talk too much garbage about it, but if you look right now, let me take a look at Mississippi Valley. Yeah, they're still the last rated team in the country, 365th, at 1 win and 22 losses. So, okay, I guess that's it for the NEA. Anybody with me here? That's the only game I'm previewing out of the. No, I'm not looking at the Southland right now because you definitely have, uh, uh, of course, Nichols in there and Stephen F. Austin. They're in one-sided games tonight. MEAC game isn't interesting, I don't think, here. So this is the only one I'm looking at on the extra board today. Okay. Hey, there's Dimitri. Good morning. Hey, Dimitri, are you really 76 or is it 7'6"? Or is it 7'6"? And Cal Dog, wasn't that interesting? Great job by NBC. How did NBC do? I liked Mike Tirico. I didn't like Collinsworth as much. I listened to the game. I listened to the broadcast. And Mike Tirico was doing his first Super Bowl ever, believe it or not. Usually he's done the after the game, but it's always been Al Michaels with NBC. All right. And Dimitri said gave us Texas Tech there yesterday, I think is what he's saying. Or is it team total under? Oh, team total under in the Super Bowl, I think. Dimitri also with Arizona. We're going to get to that game. Cal Dog, I think, is on the under here in this one with me. Greg Gibson ratings here as at 5 and 155. That's way under. Greg made so much money yesterday. Oh, man. Okay. Next up. We've got North Carolina State Wolfpack taking on the Louisville Cardinals. College basketball action here for Monday night. Louisville here favored by 7. They were ranked 24th here right now. You know, the ACC, they seem to be getting the love. North Carolina State, they're in the ACC, of course. They're not really getting the love, and they're hot. Louisville's been playing well as well. They played a little bit tougher schedule here of late, but man, this NC State team is rolling too. Let's not leave them out of the conversation here right now with what's going on in the ACC. We had a great game, obviously, this weekend with North Carolina pulling that game off, of course, against Duke, proving that they still have it and that even this rivalry can change on a moment's notice and come up with an upset. Louisville here comes in 7-4 in conference play. NC State's 9-2, and that's nothing to sneeze at because you've got Duke and Clemson only 10-1 here right now. I guess you could say. I mean, NC State is still in it, and they're hot. They're hot. Consecutive wins here over Virginia Tech and SMU, but they did not cover in those games. In fact, NC State is just 5-4 against the spread on the road. Yes, Louisville here, though, meanwhile, has failed to cover in 8 of their last 10 games coming into this one, despite the fact that they've won 3 straight games over SMU, Notre Dame, and Wake Forest. They failed to cover in each of the last 2 games against the Irish and the Deacons. See what you have in this one with a good game here, NC State and Duke, and NC State and Louisville. Yeah, Duke. They choked that game, I think. Louisville here has won 5 of their last 6 overall. North Carolina's won 6 straight. North Carolina State just 1-7 against the spread in their last 8 games against the Louisville Cardinals. Louisville has gone under in 7 of their last 10. North Carolina State's gone over in 6 straight here right now. These 2 teams met at NC State last year. Was 91-66 Louisville. Talking about the season series here, a lot of times, NC State, Louisville had been kind of down in the dumps, not down in the dumps, but NC State had played just a little bit better. They'd won 4 straight against them overall, but Louisville got the money in 3 of those 4 games. last year they just played one time, and Louisville did crush them. I'm going to take the over in this one with NC State and Louisville here. Give me the over. Louisville's been a hardcore under, that's for sure. 4-10 to the under at home, but NC State 7-2 to the over on the road. And given my druthers, I'm going to take the over this big number with NC State and Louisville. All right, let's see what the chat has in this one. NC State for Mr. Weskers. Cal Dog on NC State. Yeah, I'm worried. I mean, head-to-head, it's Louisville's game. But, hey, Greg, the Gibson ratings here, that's NC State. Oh, but he said Louisville and under. Okay, the spread's 7. His ratings say 6, but Greg's pick is his pick. Louisville and under there. And Cal Dog, like in Texas Rio Grande Valley today. Thanks, Cal Dog. Yeah, I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to look at any more extra board here on the show today, but do have Rio Grande Valley on the road against Nichols, and they're favored. That's, interesting. Okay, how about Belmont? I think we got to feature Belmont here against Bradley in this one. It's still a tough game. Belmont only favored by 2.5. Let's not hand them the win here just yet, going up against this Bradley team. But Belmont does come in 22-3. They still haven't found the rankings. Bradley here, meanwhile, 16-9. But man, Belmont just 3 losses, 22-3 this season for Belmont. Pretty good year here for the Bruins, the other Bruins. For Belmont here right now, their losses this season were to Richmond, and then they lost in conference play to Indiana State in overtime and Southern Illinois. But since then, it's been 9 straight wins, and they gained revenge over Southern Illinois in a road win to turn the tables on them. Bradley's got a real good defense. They 40th in points allowed and fewest points allowed this season. Belmont comes in 6-4, 8-4 against the spread on the road. Bradley 1-6 against the spread as an underdog, 6-9 against the spread at home. So even with the fact that Bradley is at home, and hey, they are great at home. I mean, they're 11-2, but just 1-6 straight up as an underdog. And yeah, you know what? Belmont is still the favorite here after all. These two teams did meet already this year, and Belmont won at home 88-78 as a 3.5-point favorite. Belmont's covered 3 straight, and they're obviously on a pretty big winning streak here right now. Bruins here come in hot. Currently, this winning streak is at 9 games, 5-1 against the spread in the last 6. They've gone over in 12 of their last 18 coming in, including 12-9 to the over as a favorite. But Bradley is 2-5 to the under as an underdog. However, 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone over. I'm going to take the Bradley Bruins and the Belmont Braves. If we mixed them up, I'm going to take the Belmont Bruins here over the Bradley Braves on Night Moves. Give me Belmont in this one. I'm watching a replay of the United States gold medal winning team figure skating today. That was great. Like I said, we're coming up on Olympics action right now. The live action is starting. Gibson ratings here, liking Belmont, but in a close one. Cal Dog likes Belmont, and he'll take it down here and maybe lay 1 point. Hey, North Carolina Wilmington taking on College of Charleston. A good matchup here with Charleston favored by just 1 over Wilmington, and total in this one, 149. This is the battle for first place in the Coastal Athletic Association right now, right here and right now. Wilmington coming in 19-4. They're 8-2 in conference play. Charleston, they're 16-8, but 9-2 in conference play. The funny thing about it is Hofstra is probably the best out of these 3 teams, but Hofstra is 7-5. Charleston is the team that comes in here, the hotter of the two. Uh, they've definitely been on a winning streak coming in. Meanwhile, for Wilmington here, they've actually lost 2 of their last 4. They just lost to William and Mary. 78-65 is a 4.5-point favorite at home, and Wilmington just 4-6 against the spread on the road. Charleston 8-5 against the spread at home, 10-4 against the spread as a favorite. So Charleston's kind of in the role where they want to be, and they've just been the better cover overall. It's been a good year, no doubt, for Wilmington. I mean, they're only half a game back here. This is an important game right now. The two teams have not yet met this season, but it has been a one-sided series here of late. Wilmington has definitely gotten the better of Charleston over the last few years that these two teams have met. For Charleston here, they have lost, or I should say they have failed to cover in 13 of the last 15 games against UNC Wilmington. Well, UNC Wilmington has covered 13 of the last 15 meetings between these two teams. Pure domination there by Wilmington. They've been winning this series, but just feels like Charleston here at home has the trends going their way currently right now. Can you ignore the series history, which is so one-sided? Charleston's won and covered 5 of the 5 straight games, and they've won 8 straight at home. Wilmington, like we said, have a great record, but they're just 3-10-1 against the spread in their last 14. Wilmington's gone over in 6 of their last 7. 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Wilmington is 9-1 to the over on the road coming into this one. All right, I'm going to take the over here with Wilmington and Charleston. Really torn on this one. Charleston right now, it does seem like the better team here at the moment, given the circumstances. But I'm always wary of a team that has had such a one-sided, advantage in conference play. Usually you default to how the team is in form right now, but sometimes it's taking care of business against the teams they always take care of business against, and then you go up against a team that gives you the business, and then that's when you lose. So let me take the over here on this one with Wilmington and Charleston and give me some time here to maybe think about it a little further. Gibson ratings here has it very, very close. And Cal Dog says Charleston, they played Hofstra hard. Yeah, they beat them 66-64 as a road underdog. Like I said, I'm sitting here trying to pick straws between Wilmington and Charleston, and yet Hofstra is probably the best team in the conference, but they just have too many losses here. All right. Hey, now we've got the big one of the night. Maybe even on the whole card here, even the pros. But you've got Arizona taking on Kansas in Lawrence here. Kansas, give Coach Self a lot of credit. Just when you want to say, hey, maybe Coach has lost it. Maybe this Kansas team isn't going to be able to keep up quite there in the world of NIL. I say it like that, but they're still top. They're still a ranked team. But now all of a sudden they've really kind of caught fire here. Maybe a little bit of a surprise in a way, just given the fact that some of the matchups here where they beat Texas Tech, beat BYU. They did not cover against Utah over the weekend here, 71-59, but they've been hot other than that. Kansas comes in here right now, winners of 7 straight, covering 6 of their last 7. Arizona's won a bunch of games, won them all pretty much here, 23-0. But they've covered 4 of their last 5, and they've covered 5 of the last 6 against Kansas coming in. Arizona's gone under in 5 of their last 6 games. Kansas has gone under in 6 of their last 7. 4 of the last 6 between these two teams have gone over, but Kansas is 3-10 to the under at home right now, and I think I'm going to just take the under here in this one with Arizona and Kansas. They did go for 165 last season in their, I believe, in their conference tournament game. But I'm going to take the under in this one at 151 between Arizona and Kansas. Let's go to your plays in the chat. All right, and Mr. Wesker's going to take St. John's today in that game against Xavier. Thank you to Mr. Weskers. Also, he likes the Arizona money line here. Gibson ratings here making the prediction. 77, 75, Arizona. Mr. Wesker says Indiana State on the money line. Cal Dog says Arizona and the over. Hey, I guess that's going to do it for Night Moves. What a great show. I'm glad I had some guys show up in the chat, not hungover and ready to take a day off from work tomorrow. Hey, you know what? I think the NFL will get what they want. They'll go to 18 games, 2 preseason games, and then we'll have the Super Bowl on the holiday weekend where Monday will be a day off, and we'll all live happily ever after. All right, a little bit more. There's some soccer action, European leagues here on Monday. We got Monday fixtures in Italy with a couple of games there, even with the Olympics going on. And then we got one in Spain here tomorrow for a little bit of a overseas Monday card. Some tennis action overnight as well. In golf today, Chris Gotterup continued to look impressive this season, even dating back to last season, as he was able to knock off Hideki Matsuyama, who flubbed up the chip shot there out of the rough on number 18, ended up with a bogey, and then hit a bad shot into the pew. And even though he landed close to the green, Gotterup made a great putt to win the Waste Management Open just as the Super Bowl was starting. So it was good timing. And we also have that hockey action coming up here in just a couple of hours this morning in Italy with the ladies. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Thank you for everyone joining me here. Hey, head on over to Tony'sPicks.com and pick up my best play for today in tennis with my $19 discount best bet. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout. Save 15% off premium pick packages over at Tony'sPicks.com. Check out the handicapper leaderboards and see who's hot. Click on their handicapper profile page, and that's how you get signed up. Once again, thank you to everybody in the chat. I'll be back tomorrow with more Night Moves. For the Tony's Picks YouTube channel, the 50,000 subscriber juggernaut, I'm Ramon Scott. So long from Night Moves.